Hi, this is Gary Goodwin, founder of The Stuck Creative, and welcome. This is the place to come for tips, tools, and techniques for getting unstuck, getting started, and keeping going and getting your things done at last. To get unstuck and to stay unstuck, we need to be working daily. But setting a goal of something that is not beyond our reach or beyond our lifestyle, 15, 20, 30 minutes a day seems to work for most people. Let me go ahead and list the most obvious reason, that is to get something done, to work day after day after day, to push something through, to finish up a project. Something that's less obvious, unless you think about it, is by working day by day by day consistently, we stay close to our work. We stay close to the project we're working on, and we stay close to the thing that I say that we have been called to or that we love. It's the taking photographs or the painting or the drawing or whatever you do. We are keeping it in our lives, and we're keeping it in our lives to the extent of working on it at least a little bit every day. We also learn a process that will sustain us. Now, there are techniques of productivity and creativity that can be sort of acute, meaning it works today, it's going to work for the hour, and then that's it. We put it away. There are other techniques that makes your work sustainable, that is going to be able to go on again and again and again. And this is one of the processes, and that is learning how to show up. Learning how to show up, follow through on our intentions every day. That is not a small matter, and that will move us forward and keep us from being a stuck creative. Our heads and hearts can grab hold of something that has form, something that has specific form. Maybe it's because we're so used to being involved with things that have form in our physical world, and we have to deal with them. We have to bring them closer, or push them away, or step around them, or step over them, or ingest them, or whatever, that we're constantly dealing with forms. More often than not, specific forms, those things that we have thought about, have worked with, that we know well, specific forms come first and get done first. Therefore, generally speaking, those things that we've left amorphous, that we haven't invested much thought to, and much feeling to, much experience with, those things with little specifics, they get pushed down our priority list. And therefore, again, daily specific stuff that we've given a lot of investment to, comes first. Irregular or occasional stuff comes last. To increase the odds that we're going to get our creative stuff done, we need to be specific and regular. We can add all sorts of levels of specificity, from visualizing exactly what we're going to be doing, to studying other people's work, to making notes, to outlining, to mind mapping. But what we're going to look at next are the very basic specifics that you need to increase the odds of getting your creative work started and getting your creative work done. About 10 years ago, studies were done by psychologists around what is called implementation intentions. That is the study of what does it take to get something done, and why are some people capable of following through on their intentions, and why some people don't. The researchers found that when a person has a short list of specifics, the odds greatly increase in their favor of being able to follow through on their intentions. And it's very interesting material, their research, because they tested this out on all sorts of people, varying in backgrounds. And some people had such current intense obstacles. It was amazing to see that they could, even with those obstacles, follow through as long as they had the specifics and they followed and answered these specifics. Let's take what they learned in that implementation intention research and apply it to what we need to be able to increase our odds for working daily. Remember, I was talking about this implementation intentions and giving form as part of technique number 2, which is giving form to what we want to do. And here it only takes 3 quick sections or 3 quick steps to give it that form that we need. To get definite form to I want to work every day, it's not enough to say it's every day. But to sharpen our mind, we need to pick a time. Is it going to be, are you going to do your work session every day at 2:30, at 9:30 a.m., at 6:30 a.m., at 1:30 a.m., 8 o'clock at night? What do you see as working out for you? That becomes the first part of this form making, a specific time for your work session on a daily basis. The next form giving detail is where. It's not enough to have the time and just know that it's going to be every day. Where are you going to do this? List it out, visualize it, think it through. Will it work for you? Any limitations? Any special opportunities? Spend a couple moments thinking that through. You can always change it later. But with this step, step number 2, you'll have a where, a real world where, in this reality of working daily, and a time. Number 3 is how long you're going to work. Specify the duration. So it could be 2:30 on the front porch or the backyard for 15 minutes. You visualize, you check that out and say, yeah, I can do that. Or if the weather's not good, then you have a plan B. The coffee shop, 2:30, 15 minutes. There you have a plan. You have a lot of formative details. You know when to do it, where to do it, and for how long. I'm going to throw in a fourth criteria, fourth formative specific, and that is to specify what you'll be doing. Now, this is hard, and this is something that can constantly be refined, but it sure doesn't hurt to know exactly when and where and for how long and what you'll be doing the next day or this coming week. If you're a beginner, it's a little harder, but if you're down the line a little bit with some experience, I would take your visualization of what you'll be doing and play with it a little bit. Spend 5 minutes in your mind's eye, seeing yourself, seeing what it feels like from the perspective of viewing it as you would view it, and as a third party, seeing yourself doing this. Are you going to be primarily painting at an easel? Are you going to be pouring paint? Are you going to be writing? What will you look like? What do you look like? If someone were to walk in and look at you, what would they see for that 15 minutes or whatever the length is? And then switch to what would you be seeing through your own eyes? You'd be seeing the keyboard, you'd be seeing up close the easel, you'd be seeing your hands holding something. Give it some time and give it that form. Again, it can be revised many, many times. It will have to be revised. But the more you know exactly what you're going to do, then the chances are increased that you'll actually do it. Since we're talking about reality envisioning and we're talking about form building around a reality that we want to do, it is helpful to come up with these plans and put them into something that's in the real world. I oscillate between thinking, well, it's real enough to do it online or do it in some digital format. Another part of me says, no, I need it in a physical form, a form that shares the same existence as I do in the physical world. Here I use the recipe card where I have 3 out of the 4 criteria down. Looking at that card once a day, every day, really looking at it, whether I work or not that day, or regardless how I might feel about working that day, gives us a boost. And having it so I can hold it and that it's real, I think makes a greater statement. In fact, I know it makes a greater statement to our unconscious. And in that statement and involving our unconscious will get us very closer and closer to making this a daily habit. Now, some people would stop here and say, okay, you got your techniques down, you got what you're going to do, see you later, goodbye. But since I have your attention, I want to say a few more things here, because this is important to keep you going. And that is, if you hit the center of the target the first time or more often than not, great, fantastic. However, if you don't hit the center of the target, that's okay too. Because aiming itself, having that target that we've specified, is empowering. Aiming at a target again and again and again and again is power. It's empowering. Showing up to take aim at a target that we've created, that we've given form to, has power. Consistently showing up has power. Holding the intention day after day, in other words, remembering that there's something that we want to do that day, and remembering it the next day, and remembering it the next day, and remembering the next day, brings everything to a much deeper place, increasing our odds that we can do this. Totally missing the target has power to it, because we remembered, we showed up, we took aim, we let our intention fly. And even if we miss the target, we've given a lot of ourselves, and it's just gone deeper. So next day, it will be easier for us to do all those things, the aiming, the showing up, and so forth, even if we miss the target today. Hitting anywhere on the target. Say we didn't miss the target, but we hit the target, but we didn't get the bullseye. No problem. It is still empowering. It still strengthens us, even if we got the outer ring of that target, the next ring, or the next one closest to the bullseye. Hitting the target is empowering. One thing I find very freeing and a relief, I know that I can begin the next day. I can start fresh the next day.